All right, thanks for joining. I'm Blake Marshall. This is another episode of Pisces Outdoors. Doing a little different today. You know, it's not easy to show you guys everything when I'm on the boat and doing all the action. So I wanted to bring you back over to the lab, talk about the one question I get asked the most, which is, what do I bring out to Pyramid Lake? For the guys that are looking to troll in a boat, here's a couple tips and tricks. All right, primary rod that I'm using out there is going to be the Velocity Salmon X. This is a 9-foot, 6-15 on rating, so it's a very sensitive rod. And right now, I've got this on an Abu Garcia Ambassador. These are the 6500s, so they do have a longer amount of line capacity. I do have a digital readout on it. Definitely don't need that. Me personally, not a big fan of line counters, but there are a lot of wonderful things about them as far as getting your stuff in the same spot every time, knowing when the fish is coming in. Those are all beautiful things. It's just that, you know, to me, this is just another piece to go wrong. So if I don't need it, I don't need it. But it is a nice feature. So for, I would say, the beginner to intermediate fisherman, line counter is pretty darn essential. For an advanced fisherman, definitely don't need that. Whatever you go for with a reel, you're going to want to pick us something that's a little bit larger so that you can get some capacity of line out there. Kind of early in the season, I don't find myself needing so much line, but as the water gets colder and we start going with longer setbacks, if you get a big fish with a long setback, that fish starts spooling you, you could possibly run out of line on some of the smaller reels. So keep that in mind. Go for that larger capacity reel when you're thinking pyramid. I really tend to think that most of my salmon and steelhead gear matches for this lake. So if you guys are salmon steelhead fishermen, a light salmon rod or pretty much any kind of steelhead gear is going to pair pretty well with this fishery. All right, the other model of rod that I'm using out there is another Velocity. This is their Samurai, Kokanee Samurai rod, and it's a pretty sweet setup. Just a little bit lighter than that Salmon X 9-footer. It's also a little bit shorter at 8'3", and then instead of being that 6-15 line, this one's a 6-12. So I definitely like running this when I'm running those smaller 3-inch linemans. Kind of lighter spoons, smaller spoons, gear that's the light bite kind of things. Definitely very nice for trolling a fly as well. But these things, again, if you get a 20-pound fish, you'd be surprised at how well this kokanee rod will handle it. And, you know, pretty cool for kokanee fishing as well as like planer boards and stuff like that. Or also a very nice rod if you were looking for something inland king. This would be probably my top choice for like an Orville rod. That's the next thing I'm going to get into, is what line I'm using. That's a common question. And you know what? For that question, I've seen so many answers. And a lot of those answers are the wrong answers. I'm impressed when I see you guys recommending to use 8-pound test as leader or any kind of running line. I would not recommend anyone to utilize a line that's less than 10 pound. I mean, I would probably stay away from 10 pound as well. Most of the time, you're not going to find guys using less than 12. 12 pound is kind of the industry standard for Pyramid Lake. So a lot of the fly guys use 12 pound. A lot of the boat guys use 12 pound. It's just versatile line for this size of fish. Now, with that being said, I tend to go up a little bit. I don't want to lose lures. I don't want to lose fish. So I tend to use a lot of 15-pound for my leader, and I will use typically 20-pound for my what I call running line. And I'll talk to you about that now. What I'm mostly using in my running line, and that's what is going to be the bulk of my line, is that 20-pound P line, and it's a fluoroclear, so it's a combination of monofilament with a coating of fluorocarbon. you kind of get the benefits of both, the clarity from the fluorocarbon and then some of the stretch of the mono. It is definitely easier to tie knots with this than the full fluorocarbon. All right, I want to show you guys this one because this one's just an absolute killer. If you don't have this little device, it takes the line off the reel for you. It's like 20 bucks. It's so sweet. I've been doing this with my drills for a long time, but this way is just so simple, and this thing is like I could pack it. Personally, I'm just like in love with this thing. But all this is my what I call running line, and there's probably a solid 300 to 400 feet of running line, and then I get into my backing, which is braid. I really think that 30 and 40 pound is the best option for backing, but if you really want to get a lot on there, the 20 pound will be fine. No problem with 20 pound. And if you guys are salmon fishing and you already have a rod loaded up with 65 pound braid, that's gonna be fine too. I mean, you're not really looking at line shy fish in this lake. I probably have a solid 300 to 400 feet of braid on my reel already. Now I'm gonna put on the 20 pound P-line FluoroClear, and I'll put on about 300 feet of this. So that's a fair amount. I'll load the reel up and see how much it takes, but on these 6500s, that's about the capacity for them. I'll tie this on with an Albright knot. From my running line, I want to have some kind of bead stopper. Okay, so the idea with the glass bead and the barrel swivel is that you want your leader to be able to twist, and then you also don't want that barrel swivel to go through the tip, the eyelets of your rod. So that's where this little bead is going to stop if somebody doesn't know when to stop. If they don't know that you need to not do that, that's your kind of your insurance policy for somebody who's going to try to damage the insides of the guides with that barrel swivel or chain swivel. You guys know I love lineman lures, and that's because they work. These are the 4-inch, and this would be one of the 3-inch. I mean, like these two right here, those dogs hunt. That's the Lyman Special, and this is the Frog. These would be two of the easiest selections that I could give myself or anyone for the lake. You know, dark day, dark lures. So if it was really dark and cloudy out, that's a great choice. Early in the morning, late into the sunset, and you know, sun's out, guns out. That's a nice bright one. Spoons are a big one out on the lake. Do really great with spoons. So beginning of the year, we're normally dealing with a pretty warm fishery, and those fish are down pretty deep. I think 100-foot setback is a pretty good spot to work from. As things cool down into the winter, these fish move into the shallows. That means that your boat motor is going to scare them a little bit more. Okay, so factor in a longer setback. I think a good number from the winter standpoint is 200 to 300 feet back. Like a slow troll apex, a quick fish, or a Warden's U20. Apex, quick fish, those are wintertime. For me, that's what I consider wintertime tools. And then when the temperatures are a little bit warmer, those limans and those spoons are just, they will just grab the shit out of them. So don't hesitate, fish those confidently. Last thing, going for color choices. You know, pretty much anything will work at this lake, and it varies from day to day, from week to week, and from month to month. But if I could give you guys the most simple thing, I would say get something that's white, get something that's green, and get something that's black. White, green, and black, you probably catch fish almost every single day. I'll see you guys on the next one. We got some shore fishing coming up, got more boat stuff coming up, and then we'll be hitting all kinds of different other fisheries. Ice fishing will be hopefully soon as well. So see you guys soon.